Welcome to the Over the Hump podcast. Your gateway to the world of the iconic Brahman breed of cattle. At BRC Ranch, our passion for Brahman cattle runs deep. Join us as we delve into the heart of this extraordinary breed, unveiling its rich history, exploring industry trends, and sharing captivating stories that define the American Brahman. BRC Ranch stands as the pinnacle of Brahman excellence in America, boasting a decade-long legacy of champions and housing the finest Brahman bulls worldwide. It's not just about cattle, it's about a legacy that reverberates across ranches and hearts. Brought to you by BRC Ranch, where the Brahman legacy thrives and stories are woven into the very fabric of ranching. This is Over the Hump. And now your hosts, Brandon and Rachel Cutrer, and Keaton Dodd.
I'd like to welcome everybody back to another episode of Over the Hump, and I'm your host, Keaton Dodd. With me, obviously, Brandon and Rachel Cutrer, and basically the podcast today is just kind of a pre-Houston overview, and so we wanted to not only talk through the tradition that is Houston and how excited we are about it, but some of the cattle we're taking, give visitors a guide on how they can come view the cattle at the ranch. And so I guess we'll just get right into it. Brandon, Rachel, general excitement getting into Houston. What are you thinking, Brandon?
Well, the thing that excites me the most this morning is probably Brahman beef with Brenna, because she's in there cooking a roast, and it smells amazing. It's just like wafting through the air.
How does that relate to Houston?
It has nothing to do with Houston, but it just goes with my mood right now, because I'm like,
He's not worried about Houston. He's worried about that roast beef.
Yeah. So if anybody gets a chance, check out Brahman beef with Brenna, because it is really rocking in here this morning.
I think, the interest from people wanting to come to Houston is higher than I've noticed in the past couple of years in relation to the time. You know, like we have a lot of tours booked way in advance. People saying they're coming, which I think is a great sign that people internationally are looking forward to the show and looking forward to being there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've spoke to multiple people internationally that are never coming, but also a lot of people from here in the States that are using the opportunity to come to Houston to also come visit the ranch and look through cattle. And so very, very excited about getting to go to Houston.
I think people are excited for the show.
Yeah, I think everybody's excited about the judge. Everybody's excited about the event in general. So
yeah, I would agree. There's a lot of momentum going into it that, could set it up to be really cool.
So I had to modify our hotel reservations yesterday because when I booked them, they had not released the schedule. But this year, they shortened the schedule for a day, which in turn saved us like about $1,000 on hotels, lodging. And so I was happy about that.
I love that, knocking it down a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the rough schedule? I guess we could just kind of tell everybody here now. So Brandon, do you know the Houston schedule?
I know we normally move in on a Monday. This time, is it Tuesday?
I think it is a Tuesday.
I don't want to be putting out false information here.
I just check Houston website.
I do know group classes Wednesday, female show Thursday, and then bull show Friday. I know that, but yeah.
And I like that. I like having the group show on Wednesday. I like it a lot.
Me too, because that's the most chaotic moment of the entire show. And so if you have a whole day to devote to that, you don't got to worry about anything else. I think that takes a whole team's focus pretty heavily. Okay, so I guess as we move through kind of some of the things that are going to happen in Houston, I think first we need to just talk about maybe a favorite Houston memory. Brandon.
Mine, there's one that sticks out. There's been a lot of favorite ones, but my favorite one is when I proposed to Rachel.
It's so weird
that was
to
so
hear
easy.
you say that.
It's been many years ago, but that's easily my favorite.
You are the most Brahmin people ever. Got engaged at the Houston Brahmin show. 2009,
I think.
2010.
I can't remember.
Yep.
It was in 2009. I'm turning around and looking at a picture because I have a picture on my
Molly
wall.
was born in 10, wasn't she?
I have a picture on my wall because remember I showed 888
Molly was born
and
in
797.
Oh.
I don't know. I can't
anniversary is May the 8th of 2010. And we had been engaged only about 3 months before that.
So it was 2010.
Booyah.
Oh, no, that's right. Okay, the picture I'm looking at is 888 in 2009. She did not make it her third year because remember she had to have a C-section.
Yeah, she lost her calf.
We were not together at that time. He was still living in Mississippi, and I remember calling him at like 3 a.m, just devastated. Okay, I gotta ask you, Houston memories. You had mono at Houston.
That was about 3 or 4 years before that. So this would have been, that was the worst Houston ever. Yeah. I had mono, but I didn't know I had mono. But I thought I was going to die in a hotel room.
Was that the year you showed Redneck? Or Redneck was around? You were working for Jeff Smith, right?
Yeah, I think I showed him in class, I think. I can't remember. And I remember I did not show him any further because I remember I had an enlarged spleen from the mono. And I felt terrible. And I remember we made a corner and that bull kind of slung his head and hit me in the side, and I was down for the count. Once I got out of that arena, I went to that
free clinic
thing that's in the Astro Hall or whatever it's not the Astro Hall anymore, Reliant, and they hooked me up to an oxygen machine, and I think I slept in there for like 3 hours, and that was wonderful.
I think Harley's went to that before.
Yeah, it's a good place. If you get in trouble medically at Houston and it's not like life threatening, go there because those people really take care of you.
It's free too, I think.
Yeah, they hook you up to that oxygen machine.
Getting off topic, but did Mr. Jeff take the bull after that?
Jason.
I thought I remember Mr. Jeff showing him in his khaki pants. Maybe that was a different bull.
He could have been.
I can't
It's
remember.
Been so long ago, but it was either the redneck that I was showing, or they had a bull number 512. And I can't remember, but I only made it through that one class, and then I had to go somewhere else because I couldn't take it anymore.
Oof.
Keaton, what's yours?
I guess probably.
You have a lot of different Houston experiences from like your judging coaching days and all of that.
I mean, even from growing up showing Houston days, but sticking strictly to Brahmin-related Houston things, mine probably is Molly winning Houston with glitter. I thought that was a lot of fun for everybody.
That was a lot of fun. I don't know that it's my favorite, but I was very proud when you judged Houston.
It was an enjoyable experience.
I was really proud of you for that.
That's probably my most enjoyable Houston because our workload was a lot.
What, we had 2 calves in the stall just for display?
Yep.
I got in college. I interned for Houston. Did you? Did you ever? So it's like a thing at A&M where you're like animal science students intern at Houston, and so I got to do it maybe 2 years during the steer show. And it was me and Cassie and Brant Poe and Adam Geiswhite. I don't know if you know him or not, but we were all in it. And that was when they were still showing in the Astrodome. And so we got to like be part of being in the champion steer selection and all of that. That was pretty cool. Like to walk down with the steers, go into the Astrodome, be on the floor for that. As a 21-year-old kid, that was pretty cool. Anyway. There's so many.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many.
A lot of. I remember my very first Houston was when it was still in the old Astro Hall, and that was just the most cool experience ever for my first time ever going. Because I remember leading up to that, all I'd ever seen was just the Brahmin Journal of Houston stuff, and to actually experience, it was like I might as well have been walking into the floor of the Super Bowl.
For sure. And as a native Texan, I think we're somewhat spoiled to the magnitude that Houston is. Because like I love San Antonio, I love Denver, Kansas City's awesome, Louisville's fun, but I think Houston just kind of sets a precedent amongst livestock shows, in my opinion. And I think
especially on the Brahmin side.
The Brahmin side, it's unmatched. But just in general, as a livestock event, I think it's the most prominent and successful one in the world, personally.
Well, we've said this before, but we do think that the Brahmin show at Houston is the biggest single breed show of anywhere.
I just don't see how it couldn't be.
Yeah, I saw some numbers the other day that there was like 1,400 entries and maybe 7 or 8 that actually make it in the ring.
But even the professionalism in which it's run, from the volunteers to the people working the arena, the announcers, they really make that whole thing just
they don't miss steps.
Fantastic experience from end to end.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can move on into kind of our next topic, and we're going to talk about kind of our stall specials and things of that nature. But I was going to give Rachel a chance to, I guess, back up the history of kind of stall specials, stall parties, that kind of thing.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because Earlier in the year, we had a new breeder visit, and we were talking, and he said, y'all should have a stall party at Houston. And I just kind of laughed because I was like, dude, I invented the stall party. I'm pretty sure I know about stall parties. And
I remember the first time we ever had one. It was wild.
That's what I was thinking. So kind of to give a little background, was it the first year, was it the year we sold the Noble Semen for $1,000 a straw?
Yes.
Yes. So that would have been 2016-ish. Is that right? Somewhere around there. And kind of the thought process was, through Ranch House Designs, I always went to Denver for the National Western Herd Bull Display. You've been there, been there, and it's like this electric atmosphere where everybody is just walking through the yards, just looking at cattle. And in the Houston schedule, there was kind of a void on Wednesday because on Wednesday morning, you would have the ABBA meetings. And then there was nothing on Wednesday afternoon. And I was trying to say, let's put something together that creates that same atmosphere of what you would see at Denver. And the whole objective is to get people walking through the barn and talking to breeders. And so we came up with this idea of a stall party on a designated time on Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, it kind of filled in that empty space between the meetings and the international sale in the evening time.
And I'm so glad now because there's a lot of people that do something during that time, whether it's stall specials or hospitality or food and drinks at their booth, and it's good. It gets people out and about. They can really see the cattle, hopefully make some sales. Some things I don't like about stall parties, I will say, is like I do not like the gimmicky stall parties. I don't know how y'all feel about that. But, a lot of people have like specials, which we have specials. A lot of people do. But I don't like stall parties where the special is like limited straws. For some example, like, I don't know what y'all think about it, but they're like, oh, well, we're only going to sell 10 straws. Yeah, some people only do sell 10 straws on a bull. I totally get that. But then some people sell 50 and they say that they're selling 10, or
I get what you're
some
saying.
people like mark out that, oh, all of them are sold out like 15 minutes after the stall party's open, when the whole objective is not, it really wasn't to sell 10 straws. It was just to sell like 2, just hoping that you find like one person. From a marketing standpoint, y'all probably don't know this. There's like a whole marketing, strategy of like how to launch a product. Do you even know about this? Like a lot, and it's like build an email list, create scarcity, throw out huge exorbitant numbers, all of that sort of stuff. And so if you know that strategy, you see that a lot sometimes during Houston because people are like, oh, if you don't buy it now, it runs out or whatever. Or you see it in email blasts like, oh, we had so many people trying to buy it, the server broke. Like, no, it didn't.
No,
but not so that's why I guess on ours, like, you don't see that with us of like, okay, we're only selling 10 straws. We sell whatever we have.
So it's out.
Yeah, and I'm not saying everybody who does that uses like a scam, because I know, for example, like Stuart, a lot of times at Houston, he'll only sell like 6 straws of Maximus because there's hardly none left, and that's real. That's not a gimmick or that's not a scam, but
that's just managing
that's
supply.
Same with Noble, we only sell a few. And so, and another thing, the stall parties, every ranch is different. Some people give out ice cream. Some people have a showgirl. There's a lot of.
Somebody have a mariachi.
Some people have a mariachi, and there's a lot of different things. And I think that's cool because each ranch can kind of make it their own of what they like.
Yeah, and people can kind of know what to expect from those places and know what they can see when they go to Houston and have a variety to choose from.
Yeah.
What do they say it on American Idol? Make it your own.
I've taken my picture with the showgirl several times. I know you have.
That's right.
So that's kind of like a little history of the stall party for us this year. I will say we're having 2 times. So because now we have the group classes. So we're having like a little bit of hospitality from like 1 to 3. And then we'll show the group classes at 3. And then we're going to continue that hospitality like 5 to 7, because I think that night is the ABBA sale.
Yes.
So basically it gives people something to do for that entire period, walk through the barns, and then make their way over to the ABBA sale, whatever time that is.
Just make sure we
7,
fill the schedule.
6 or 7, something like that.
Well, perfect. I guess we can kind of get into some of the stall specials and unwrapping some of the stuff that we'll have to offer. And it's kind of broke, I guess, into more of a tier system, not necessarily a quality, but some of the younger bulls or some of the bulls that we sell higher volume of semen, we've got them priced at the price point of $125 a straw, or you can buy 5 for $550, or you can buy 10 for $1,000. And so bulls that would qualify for that list would be like the Yesterday Road 227 bull. That's a Captain Lupita's son. He's been successful kind of out on the show road. The Tugboat Captain bull, which is a half brother to Noble, sired by Captain that we own with the Phillips family.
Yeah.
Old Skirt bull there. The Woe Macklin bull, which we were talking, he's the oldest Sweetie son that we've got available on the market. Old Stalwart 259 legend. We've sold a bunch of that, and so we'll be kind of selling on some of the end of his inventory. One of our very popular young bulls, Geronimo's Cadillac, the 230 bull as we call him. Checks in the Mail. This will be one of the kind of the first big offerings of the Checks in the Mail 188, a Noble son. Old Skirt Brickhouse bull that we own with the Salinas family. He will be amongst that list. And then a new one that Brandon and myself were really excited to get to unveil kind of for the first time, and that's the Johnny Brahman bull. And so that's the Parton Sweetie. He was calf champion at the national show at his first show. Been pretty popular, pretty successful. I don't know. Any additions to that, Brandon and Rachel?
Yeah, I would kind of share maybe just the marketing rationale of that, to kind of help people understand how we get these price points, if that makes sense. Like, because most of these are younger bulls, and we were talking about it this morning because, we looking at the quality of some of these bulls, it's really high. I mean, like 230, he was, many-time champion, and Johnny Brahman. I mean, so these bulls are the freshest, best genetics that we have. And so one might question, well, why are you only selling it for $125 a straw when you sold Noble his first year at $1,000 a straw? If you think that's a fair question,
I would say it gives more people a chance to get in on them.
Our mentality has changed a little bit. Like I guess it changed with Captain.
Yes, that's where I was going with that.
Okay.
Captain 160.
Because Captain, we started him off at 100, and people bought it, and then all of a sudden the calves were just phenomenal, and then prices went up, and those people that got in early really benefited from that. Mm-hmm. And there was just so many people who said, "Hey, these Captain calves are some of the best we've ever raised. We're going to keep buying it." And of course, it worked really good in Flushing and IVF and AI and
yeah.
So if you're selling, like, say 2016, we were selling Noble at $1,000 a straw, his first offering, and we sold a lot of it. But most of those people were only doing flushing with it. If you offer these high quality bulls at an affordable price, do you think people will AI with it?
I think so. At $100, I think you can justify it.
It makes it more feasible to AI with it and testable before you just go all in and spend thousands of dollars on a IVF aspiration.
That's what I was going to say. Basically, we reward people for getting in early and helping us prove up a young bull. I think is part of it.
That's my favorite part about it, is just helping prove up a bull. And one, you can't really prove up a bull other than just looking at the visual quality with IVF and ET calves. We encourage people to AI with these bulls because then you can use the performance data to help prove up a bull in terms of accuracies on ear EPDs. So my mentality, the more the merrier, the better, more information I can get of accurate information, the more I want.
Yeah, it gives people too, and I guess kind of an incentive to get in early, knowing that if this bull continues and is successful, that semen's obviously going to go up in price. So here's your chance to maybe, I guess, roll the dice a little bit, not really, but kind of at least get it at a cheaper investment, and then you can use it. Yeah,
just something to kind of dip your toe in and testable before you throw all your.
Yep. So actually, of those, 227 will be in our stalls, 230 will be in our stalls, and 299 will be in our stalls. So if you're not familiar with those, you can come by during our stall special, take a look at them, talk to us. They'll be right there, and I think it's fun to invest in a bull, and then he shows in 2 days.
Me too.
And you get to see how he does. Like that year we sold all the Noble semen, like everybody who bought that semen, they were really hoping he did well.
They almost feel like they own a part of the bull too.
Yeah.
You want to make a celebrity out of it.
Yeah.
Brahman breeders know, you want the finest herd, you have to start with the finest Brahman bull semen. And there's no finer selection than at BRC Ranch. Our champion makers are exactly that, but we know variety is essential. We also offer semen from low birth weight bulls, polled/scurred bulls, and sexed heifer semen. BRC Ranch works to release orders within 3 to 5 business days, but you can always stop by the ranch to pick up your order too. Bring the top Brahman sires to your ranch. Go online to shopbrcutrer.com.
Oh, I guess move on to the next tier. So then we've got some bulls that are priced at $1,000 a unit for 2 units. And so these are 2-unit packages. And that would be Hey Dude and Boombox. So we're going to make that available domestically for anybody that wants it. 2 for $1,000.
Yeah, 2. So it's 500
Yeah,
straw.
500 a unit, but you got to buy 2.
Correct. Yeah.
So,
Hey Dude, former national champion.
See, and those are bulls that have kind of proven themselves.
Yeah, they've been flushed. Yeah. They've been using AI programs by us and a few other people. They have calves internationally. And
I don't know if anybody paid attention to the calf champion bull up at Oklahoma City at the Cattlemen's Congress, but the Morris family at Black Gold Brahmins had that calf champion bull that was sired by Hey Dude. He's one of the very early ones. And that was a good calf.
A nice bull. Yeah.
He had a lot of shape to him and really looked a lot like Hey Dude at that age.
Yeah, and then Boombox, of course.
Yeah, Boombox has
World
already
favorite.
been approved. Another bull, and based on kind of scarcity of semen, the El Tejano bull, Republic of Texas 36, that we own with the Santa Cruz family, we're going to sell you 2 units at $1,500. Okay, and so that'd be a $750 a unit kind of an investment there.
That's a unique bull, and there isn't a lot of semen on him. You know, the Santa Cruzes breed him naturally, so it's a little bit more, like you said, a little bit more rare. He breeds red or gray.
That's a big part.
He's had a lot of really successful cattle in the reds in Mexico.
I think he may have as much value in making reds as anything. I know Chad Phillips, they've made some nice calves out of him too, on some of the flushes with some of their polled cows. And then we move down to the $2,000 a unit, and we're going to offer Captain and $279. And so Captain's kind of been close to that price point for a while, and then $279 we're getting kind of into sort of his last reserves, and that bull's done such a good job for polled programs. Just went to South Texas last week and saw a bunch of good $279 and kind of what they've done.
Yeah, so just kind of for a reference, sharing our inventory on Captain, right now we have 55 straws. Now he produces a lot. He's back at Brushy Creek right now replenishing that, but that's a bull where the demand is really high, and you go collect 1,000 straws and you think you're good, and then you sell all of that internationally in a couple of orders. And so that is a little low. We're a little low on that one. And then 279, we have 66 units ever. That's it. He's passed away. And that's actually from John Locke's inventory that he was willing to, kind of share, because we were you here when I made that mistake? I literally sold every single straw of 279 that we have because I had a clerical error. So we have none. And John was gracious enough to share some of his. So,
but those are those 2 old stalwarts that are going to give you good ones, whether polled, horned, whatever. Done a lot of great things for a lot of people.
We have not sold Captain in quite a while, actually. I was trying to look back. I mean, I know it's been at least over a year and maybe 2 years since we offered Captain in the USA. Public.
I do think this is good that we went over that, because people probably all the time are like, well, where do they get the value and the price that they come up with for semen? And I think it's a couple of things. I mean, it's demand, it's obviously supply, and kind of the quality of those calves. So I guess we can kind of kick on from there. And Brandon, if you want to head this kind of section off and talk us through at least some of the cattle that we've got on our show string that are going to go up to Houston, and I can kind of piece in and Rachel can piece in as you go. But if you wanted to start that off.
Yeah, the cattle that are going to Houston, of course, we're probably taking more than we have before, just because we have so many nice ones. But from big bulls to young calves and group classes, I'm excited. There's just, what are those? The 5 of the big bulls. Back when I was a kid, I remember walking through those stalls of some of those ranches, and they'd have 5 or 6 of those great big bulls, and they were so impressive. And I'm like, I finally made it there. We got 5 great big bulls.
Did we have that last year?
I think we did.
I can't remember what we had last year, honestly.
I see them every day, but when you walk into Houston and they're lined up in that line, you're like, wow, this is good.
I remember, I guess maybe our first year of BRC, you're going to remember this, we had 160 and Dutton. Mm-hmm. They were our 2 biggest bulls, and I was impressed with those, but this list is more impressive to me.
Yeah, like those bulls, we got the oldest bull is 227. He's a Captain Lou Pete's son. We talked about him earlier. He's going to be in the Saw Special. We own him with the Graham family at Triple R Brahmins, and I'm excited. This will be his last go-round. But just a real complete bull. I love that pigment that he's got to him, and just hard to pick a hole in him.
Great structured.
Yep. And then course, one of my favorites is 230, Geronimo's Cadillac. I love that bull. And, of course, he'd been out breeding cows, and we're expecting those first few calves here, probably Houston time.
Yeah, March embryo calves. We'll have our first one.
I just laugh because you take that bull out of the show ring the show barn like every week, and Harley will be saying, I need that bull, getting him ready for Houston. I need him ready for Houston. And then Brandon will be like, hey, I need to go breed 2 heifers. So I'm going to pull him out of the show barn and put him back in put him with some heifers.
The good thing about him, you don't have to worry, because you go put him with him heifers. He takes care of business. You bring him right back. Or even bring the heifers to him. That booger's athletic.
He needs to be a bull first and a show bull second.
Yeah, he takes care of business. He don't play around.
Another one that's been popular, another one that personally I like an awful lot, the bull that would have been the Supreme Champion American bull at the Cattlemen's Congress last year. So he didn't go this year, but last year he was the Supreme Champion bull there, and that's the Money Don't Jiggle 240 bull.
Yes. For our international people listening, like nearly every day I get a question of if we have Semen on 240, and we have not collected him yet. He'll be going to Brushy Creek right after Houston. And so, estimated maybe summer we'll have some by the time he gets in quarantine and produces. But for those asking, that's kind of the plan with him.
And then I got sidetracked on 230, just doing that. And I'm like, I forget about him, but there's still like 4 other big bulls to talk about. And, there's Amos Moses, 257. He's reserve champion last year, national champion bull. People love that bull. Just big hump, big muscles.
I don't think he was the reserve grand at Obama.
No, I don't want his division. I mean,
yeah. We don't want to take anything away from the people that
reserve grand at Houston. They all start running together.
Yeah, and so we'll have a lot of calves sired by that bull this year. Between 230 and 257, we'll probably have more calves sired by those 2 bulls than any other bulls as we go through this year.
I need to pull up my sheet because you mentioned all of those, and actually, we collected semen on all of those, but we're sold out for international semen. So Amos, Geronimo's, Cadillac 227, we're all working off a waiting list for those for international people. We do have some domestic only that we're going to be, offering on some of those, but international people, we're working on a waiting list for those bulls too.
Yeah. And then there's the next oldest bull is Johnny Brahman, and he's a 2-year-old right now. He's 24 months old. We've got calves coming on him. He's one of those ones that passed his fertility test at 13 months old.
And you were going to throw that in.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, I got to, because people can be expecting to come look at some babies here pretty quick. Because we'll have, I think the first ones will be here in May or something like that. But I'm really excited about him. Love that bull for his outcross quality. And then maybe one of my absolute favorites of the whole show string for just combining everything that we're looking for, from breed character to power to style, it is 6-gun 328, and just absolutely love that bull.
Go ahead and tell everybody when he froze semen and collected a semen test.
He was also one of 5 bulls that we've ever raised that passed his fertility test at 13 months old with a set of 36-centimeter testicles.
You need something on the wall that documents these.
Yeah,
you need like a little plaque or something.
Yeah, and you keep moving them who did it younger.
Yeah,
like a top. I like that idea.
Did he beat Johnny, or is he
both
equal?
of them were right at the same, because both of them passed at 13 months old.
Didn't you have someone asking you recently though, like, is that true? Or you had a conversation with someone that was just blown away that you have a large number of bulls that are passing fertility tests so early.
I can't remember who it was, but yeah, they mentioned that, and I'm like, so far we're up to 5 bulls that have passed at 13 months old. And I'm shooting for 12. I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
And so just, you're
shooting for 12 months.
Yes, 12 months.
What does like an Angus bull do at?
You could do it around there, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm after, because, here in the States, while we all work together as crossbreeding tools, I'd like to put Brahman at the same playing field, on the same level, and hold them to the same standards as an Angus or a Hereford breeder would. And we've been making a lot of improvement and stride headed toward that direction. We put turn bulls out on heifers this year at 14 months old and got some of them pregnant. And so it's not necessarily, my goal is not necessarily to see who's getting bred at 14 months old, because I know a lot of them can do it, but who are the ones that can get bred at 14 months old, calve as 2-year-olds, and then rebreed. That's the important part to me, is the rebreeding, because I know there's plenty of them out there that can get bred at 14, but I want to find the ones and single out those that can rebreed and keep going.
And still win a show.
Yeah, not to mention, I was just about to say, that bull was literally just the grand champion bull and top 5 American bull at the Cattlemen's Congress, but it doesn't have quite the impact on Brandon. And then we forgot his brother, too. His brother will also be there, the Federale Bull 331. He was calf champion last year.
Yeah, that bull is a really nice bull.
Different type, a little bigger, I'd say,
Yeah,
right? He's a little bigger than
two different types.
Yeah, 2 different types, both really nice. Definitely have a breeding place for both of them, depending on your preference.
Yeah, interesting. Those full sibs would look that different, but they're both very good.
Full sibs can look different, though.
Yeah, but they still match up good enough that you can use them in group classes and stuff.
Yep, that's true. Oh, speaking of full sibs, another pair of full sibs that don't necessarily look the same but are really good. The Noble 103 brothers, Brandon. What?
Oh,
the 382 and the 383.
382 and 383. And so there's a debate every single day in the barn on which one people like better.
And I bet you if you ask me and Brandon right now to guess which one the other one likes, we'd probably like different bulls.
Yeah, that's right.
They're both really, really good.
Really like those bulls.
Oh, and then we're leaving off one. Our little friend.
Melvin.
Our buddy Melvin. Calf
Melvin
champion.
has a following. People like that bull.
People like Melvin. He's calf champion at World Brahman Congress the other day.
Yep, we'll see.
Yes.
We'll see how he goes into it. He's one of those favorites that people always want to see and look at. So.
Yeah.
Then we got some of those May bulls that I'm excited about.
Some of the bulls that haven't been out yet.
Yeah, really excited about those. And I mean, there's even a red May bull that's a X-Ray Blair like him.
Yeah, and we got the 2 160 sons.
Yep, love them.
You have one that's not a full brother to 160.
Yes,
full brother to Amos.
Full brother to Amos, and then what's
we
the
have
other
a
one?
He's in July. The full brother to
July.
160.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's still on the teetering point whether he's going to make it to Houston or not, and just being ready.
But we do have a full brother to Amos, and then one we're really excited about.
And that one is white color?
Yes. A white full brother to Amos, and then there's a 160 775. So half brother to the 805 cow. That mating's been really good for us. We
full brother to 250.
250, and then the Ashley Grant heifer's also full sister, and that mating's just been super, super good.
Yeah, so we have a lot of bulls. I mean, if you plan to come to Houston, like look us up, and we would love to personally walk with you and like show you especially some of the younger ones that maybe people haven't seen. You know, we've got a lot of different matings represented here, a lot of different sires, which is cool.
Yeah, even old Thumper, he's one of the early ones from the
Margaret's calf.
Yeah,
you think he's going to show? Are y'all going to show him in a class?
He's old enough to. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll think about it. See what he looks like.
But that's really cool. I just like it there. We entered him. He looks good. We'll see what he does. He just got dehorned yesterday, so hopefully he'll be ready.
Okay, want to talk about the heifers?
The ladies of BRC.
We talk about we have 4 or 5 really impressive bulls, but how many pairs are we taking this year? And is that more impressive than having 4 big butted bulls?
I don't know
in
if
your
it's more
stalls?
impressive or not, but I'm definitely proud of it. Proud of all 3 of those cow-calf pairs. They're all just a little different by design, probably, but I like each one of them a lot. Obviously, probably the one that jumps out to people first would be Margaret, 2-time All-American champion, World Brahman Congress champion. That female's been basically from her first show on.
Beautiful face.
She got pretty. She got a pretty face.
Y'all are making fun of me of that, but you know Harley. What Harley? A lot of people agreed with me. For the record, a lot of people after that podcast commented to me and said they agree she has a beautiful face. But Harley informed me that even though she's 3 years old, she wears like the next to smallest halter size. Did y'all know that? What is the 5 the smallest halter size, or is 1 a? I can't remember.
I can't even
whatever
remember.
it is.
That's why we got Harley.
She wears the next small, like extra small. She wears a small halter, even though she's 3 years old, because her face is just so elegant and beautiful.
So we got Margaret and Brandon. What you could tell us your favorite kind of that grouping?
I like the 250 one. I like her a lot, and of course, don't get me wrong. I love Margaret, but 250 is a little more my speed because she's got a little extra grunt and muscle to her, and man, that udder is fantastic. And she got probably the most impressive calf on her side. And,
but she does.
Love that one from a femininity combined with power standpoint in a moderate frame package. A lot of people say she's too small. I think she's just right.
And then the other one, we've got kind of the unique, the extreme, the power donor,
big bruiser.
Mamu, the bruiser. Right?
Yeah.
She kind of punishes the ground as she walks. But so that would be the 160 out of 160's grandmother. And she's been popular. People all over the world have liked Big Mamu.
Yeah.
Of those three, though, they are in the same pen at the show barn. We know, which is fun. Is Margaret the bully of the group?
Margaret is the
Yeah,
boss
I mean,
gal.
she bosses
Yeah.
people around. You would think it might be Big Mamu because she looks like a bully when you look at her, you know.
But she's actually the most scared of the group.
Margaret is the one that rules that pen.
And
You should. I think it's also worth sharing, just for people who like to know the background, is that 250 was taken out of the show barn. Because
after Houston, she was kicked out
last year because she was in the same class as Margaret, and Margaret kind of started rising to the top more, and we were like, well, Brandon prefers to develop a female on grass and, not on show feed, and so we kicked 250 out, bred her, calved her out. She looked so good in the pasture after she had her calf. We brought her back up.
We picked her up, 20 days before the Congress and brought her into the Congress. and
it served her right. She's fresh when the rest of those cattle were kind of topping off, and she was still good to go.
But I would say, when we're talking about those pairs, the thing I'm most proud of, I don't care about anything they've won before, anything. Every single one of those females is going to calve between 15 and 30 days sooner than they calved last year.
Yeah,
they all bred back. And
backing up.
Yeah, backing up. So they're going to calve anywhere from 15 to 30 days sooner than what they calved this year. So we're pushing those calving intervals shorter and shorter.
So we got those. Goal. Yeah, exactly. We've got those good pairs, and then we've got kind of a strong set of those kind of seniorish aged heifers.
Oh, yeah.
Probably Connor Thibodeau's favorite heifer in the whole barn, the 285 female Guccion. He loves her, and she's always her and Winona seemed to be the two females last year that, no matter what the show judged or what the outcome was, they were going to get a piece of their division. And she's been super, super consistent. Then we got the two Breaker sisters, Jackson's heifer, and the one we own was Cheryl. So those would be Breaker Boom Shakalakas, and one of them being Jackson's was she third overall American up there?
Champion Brahman and third overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so those are some we're excited about. Boy's family's got the only peanut on the string, 330 heifer, and she's been doing well. I think she went to maybe it was the Southeast Brahman show and won her division and stuff.
Brad
so she's Brad made her the division champion there.
Mm-hmm. Else do we have Gus? We Smoke Show and Gus.
Smoke Show and Gus, which are once again stalwarts of our successful show string. They both won the calf division at a national or international show. Else to be on there. Oh, we've got the Breaker Sweetie that Case Botcha shows, the Wicked Felina heifer.
So we have Sweeties. We have Johnny Brahman, Smoke Show, Gus, Wicked Felina.
I think that might be and then we've got the Sparks Fly heifer that we own with Indian Feather. That's one of them that's been really popular. And then we get into a whole gauntlet of babies that I'm really excited about. The older set of them went to World Brahman Congress, but I think they look just even that much better. And I'm really excited. One of them I'm very excited about is the 168.05 we call Uptown Girl 463. I think she was third or so in that class at the Congress, but she's turned a crank and she's a different looking beast now. Rigo and his family, they've got the 464 Shaker Boom Boom, the 160 out of Boom Shakalaka. What else, Brandon? I know I'm missing one or two out of that
Sally
group.
O'Malley.
Sally.
Yeah,
she likes to kick.
Yeah.
Oh, Sally. I forgot about Sally.
Sally, get upside your head.
Oh, and then a heifer I may like as good as any animal in the whole barn is the 489 Ashley Grant female. And she was class winner at the World Brahman Congress. I think she won the very first class of the day. Or first. And reserve calf? Was she reserve? No, just one that class. Yeah, that's right. But she's really, really cool. We're really excited about her.
Yeah, just the same. I love her for the same reasons I like 250.
Are they full?
They're full
sibs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they'd be full sibs to the bull too, Hickory Stump.
Yes. I love those names.
Yeah, I'd say pay attention to that Hickory Stump bull. That's a cool bull.
We were staring at him in awe yesterday evening before we went home from work. We just kind of looked at him.
It's been so muddy. I have not gone out there.
I can't blame you don't for a while.
I'm going to admit I have not gone out there.
What's some of the young ones, Brandon, that haven't got out yet that may make their first appearance?
So some nobody's ever seen before would be the 503 heifer. That's another one of those Breaker and Sweeties. And I tell you, that cross has been fantastic. I love that cross just as much as I like the King Garrett cross on Sweetie. I'll tell you that breaker bullet, Judd and Gala's, has done a phenomenal job for us. He's done a really, really nice job.
I think we've had 3 of that mating, and all 3 of them at least went to the show barn.
Yep,
of that breaker.
that's exactly
mating.
right. And there was 4 because there was a 4th bull that we owned with Seth Graham, and that showed at Houston last year.
Yep.
So really like that one. So I think every single one of that matings made it to the show barn. Then we got the 505. That one's one that's really exciting, and I like that one just in terms of power. Another full sister to Amos.
Is she the darker colored one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really
Molly
like her.
to show.
Yeah, we'll see. So really like that one. Really cool because I think that one's going to be one that gets up and helps out in group classes, matching up and bringing some power and stuff. The little 509 heifer is one of Annie's out of her Shaky Baby cow. Shaky Baby. If people don't know, people are like, what kind of name is Shaky Baby? Annie had this. Well, she still sleeps with it at night now as a 9-year-old, but her entire life she's got this little bear that's got a rattling blanket attached to it.
Do you know what we're talking about? Yeah.
And she calls it Shaky Baby. And so since that was Annie's cow, we named the cow Shaky Baby.
Shaky Baby, another baby.
Yeah, that was Shaky Baby's first calf. So
and the actual Shaky Baby's friend. She had
she had two
little things as a baby.
Yeah, so that those just went together. But this one's sired by Captain. Talk about style and just overall beauty. You know, she's a little more red tinge than I would prefer, but coming from Captain and then that 82 cow. But I do like the style and just overall femininity and of that one.
Newest member of the Gus bus, the little Gus and Johnny and Smoke Show's little sister too could potentially make her first trip. That's kind of it for the Grays, other than the 2 calves that are on the side of our pairs, and we'll see if they get shown or not. But they're entered. And the intentions are for them to potentially get shown. Last 3 though, Brandon, if you want to just cap us off with Mojo's Rojos, tell us about our little red string we're going to haul. We'll
have 4 of them up there this time.
Are we going to separate them out in their own little section?
I would prefer that we did.
I don't know if we have enough stall panels.
Yeah,
I don't know if we have enough.
They at least need to be on the end, but
if we do, I'd like to put them in their own little spot just to highlight Molly's little program. And I will say that these things are prefixed Mojo's Rojos. This is kind of her pet project. She's the one that we went through and made the matings. And this is, I would say she had about 75 to 90% of the work put into this. So this is
kind of like me making 75 to 90% of the breeding decisions for us.
You don't?
Inside joke. Inside joke.
That's okay. I'll give you the credit. But yeah, no, I'm excited about the quality of the calves, but the work that Molly's put into this as a passion project
in breeding and studying.
In breeding, and just she's really impressed me on the things she thinks about when she's mating these things. So there's 2 full sibs of out of the original X-Ray and Blair, a bull and a heifer. There's one of her Dietering heifers that we'll be taking. Love that one. And then, the 519 heifer. That's
Josephina.
Yeah, so she's a red Boom Shakalaka daughter. So
we let Molly take a flush on Boom Shakalaka.
Yeah, and so really excited about that one. That one's
to run her red.
That one's pretty cool. So if you get a chance, please stop by and check out and ask Molly about her Mojo's Rojos, because I'm sure she will burn your ear off talking about them.
But in general, please just come stop by and see the cattle. They're going to be in Houston, a chance to see kind of the genetics we're focusing on going forward. But as we continue kind of down the slideshow, you'd say, or what's next, Rachel, will you lead us into kind of telling some potential ranch visitors how they can find us, see us, all that kind of stuff?
So our ranch is about an hour southwest of Reliance, so it's a very easy drive. And we start getting visitors, I would say, almost a week before Houston, and it's changed a lot in the last few years, because a lot of people would usually come after Houston, but now I've noticed people come before Houston because they kind of want to get, I don't know if it's like a sneak preview or get first look at, the private treaty heifers and things like that. But so we'll start, basically when people start coming into town, they're welcome to, come out to the ranch and visit. On the actual week of Houston, we'll be, me, Keaton, and Brandon will be at the ranch on Monday and Tuesday. And then we'll come into Houston on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. And then we'll be back at the ranch Saturday. So Saturday of that week, we're having what we call like a Dia de Campo at our ranch. I don't know if y'all knew that or not.
Mm-hmm. I did. I thought I was impressed with your Spanish.
Yeah. Well, whenever I travel internationally, they always have, like, all the ranches have that, and that's what they call it. So I just called it that for us. And basically it's an open house, and anybody is welcome to come to the ranch on Saturday morning. There's a lot of stuff going on in Wharton County. That's actual Saturday. I know JD Hudgens has some stuff. Heritage will have the International Brahmin Field Day that afternoon. So we're pretty much going to be open in the morning, but after lunch we'll be closed because we want to attend some of the other, things in the area. And then after that, you're welcome anytime.
Yeah.
People are welcome anytime. We don't really have like an appointment. I mean, if you can give us a heads up, that's great, because there's only 3 of us and, 2 mules to drive people around on. But yeah, everybody is welcome. We're having a judging team workout, I think March 14th.
Yeah,
and
any
college judging teams are welcome. Any international groups, any tourist groups, everybody is welcome.
But I would say, don't forget the Brahmin Museum.
Oh, yeah.
And the ranch downtown, because,
Brahmin Museum will be open that whole week of Houston and the week after for anybody to stop in and visit. What I think is the coolest thing about the Brahmin Museum is like the library, all the old Brahmin journals. And so if you are wanting to come, I would say give yourself like an hour and sit there, and you can look through all the old Brahmin journals, look through everything, grab some lunch on the Wharton Square, enjoy it. There's a lot of fun stuff to do in Wharton.
Walk around and enjoy historic downtown Wharton.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I should share. I don't know if I told y'all or not, but Molly tasked me with the task of getting tickets to Reba McEntire for the rodeo. And she loves Reba. And we don't go to the rodeo. I mean, I'm sure it's great, but we work at Houston. We're working. We're not going to the carnival. And Molly loves Reba. And so when she came out, she was like, Mom, give me the ticket. Can we get tickets to Reba? It's on Tuesday night before the Brahmin show. So I waited in line on the queue, and I was like, they're 30 minutes early. They sold out within 2 minutes, and I didn't even get one, even though I was logged in on 2 computers with 2 different accounts. So then I had to go on StubHub, and I bought the tickets. So anyway, long story short, me and Molly are going to Reba on Tuesday night.
One chance fancy.
So y'all will be on your own, and we're just staying in Houston Tuesday night. We'll be there on Wednesday. We'll be enjoying Reba McEntire.
Maybe we can go see Zach Top or something.
I bet Rachel would want to go. Yeah, he is.
Really playing?
He's in Houston.
I hate that guy.
Poor Zach.
Like
Zach, if you're listening, she doesn't mean it.
Really
we really like him.
We love Zach Top.
She doesn't like the mustache, to be honest, Zach.
That's my favorite thing.
Gross. Gross.
Well, this has been fun. I guess we're kind of coming up on that over 45-minute mark, and that's kind of our goal with this podcast. Does anybody have any kind of closing remarks before we move on, other than come see us?
Do you have any tips for you? Wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah, I'd say it's very professional to wear boots when you can, but at Houston, wearing them every day, it may wear you out. So wear comfortable shoes. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time to walk from the parking lot and things of that nature.
Yes.
I don't know.
I mean, we're ready. Well, we ordered all of our stall signs 2 weeks ago, and then today we found out we forgot one. So we got to put a last-minute stall sign together, but come by our booth. I would say if you're going to be at Houston, please come by our booth during the stall special. It's going to be nice. We're going to have some really nice hors d'oeuvres being passed around. Indian Feather Ranch, Finley Brothers, Jackson and Paxton Crew, they're all kind of teaming up with us. We're going to have some really nice food, really nice drinks, lots of goodies to give away. We're going to have a nice semen catalog.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun event.
And I always look forward to Houston, just seeing people you only see once a year. Meeting new people. Love it.
All right.
Perfect. Well, I guess we'll sign off. See y'all soon, everybody.
You've been listening to the Over the Hump podcast. Our passion is Brahmin cattle, and it runs deep. And this show is about its rich history, industry trends, and stories that define the American Brahmin. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Instagram and Facebook at BR Cutrer. See you next time on the Over the Hump podcast.